like to call this meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. McCausland, can you please take roll?
Mrs. Feist?
Oh, did you say me? Because
I did. You're here. Mr. Grisbeck?
Here.
Mrs. Hoppy?
Here.
Mrs. Janasik?
Here.
Mr. McGregor?
Here.
Mr. Modrak?
Oh, here.
Mr. Scalzo?
Here.
Mrs. Turner?
Here.
Mr. Christensen?
Here.
All 9 members present.
Thank you. The first item on our agenda, it actually isn't a Bethel Park school topic, not something that's happening within our schools, but it is a topic that's very related to students and children in our community. So we have a presentation from a group called Adoption Connection, and they're going to talk about the program for, and I guess a request for soliciting additional foster care, adoptive care, things like that. So it's a good topic, obviously very related to health and well-being of students, but is not a program in the Bethel Park School District. So Annalise is, and Jenny? Yep. Yeah, please come up.
I don't know if that mic's on. You might need to.
It's not live? Okay.
So, I mean, can we just project our voices?
Is it good? Yeah, it's live. I think it's live. Okay. Good evening. My name is Annalise O'Neill,
I'm Ginny Householder.
and we are here from Adoption Connection, PA. We are foster family recruiters, and we are here tonight to share that Allegheny County is currently in dire need of new foster families. And there are currently approximately 15,000 children in the foster care system in Pennsylvania on any given day. Our goal at Adoption Connection PA is to find and mentor families that are interested in becoming new foster families. Our agency will help you complete your required trainings, get licensed with the state, and support you during and after the placement process.
So there are many, many children in Allegheny County that are waiting to be placed in safe, loving homes. Our current highest need of children to be placed is ages 6 to 21. That is inclusive of all the older youth in care, as well as BIPOC youth, which is Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Sibling groups is a high need area as well, LGBTQIA, and as well as children with medical needs. We're here tonight in hopes of teaming up with Bethel Park School District to come up with a collaborative solution to the community-wide problem, because this isn't just like a one area problem. This is everywhere. So we would like to take some questions. We're open to suggestions, anything like that.
And another quick thing I'd like to add, the reason we're going to different school district is because when a child is pulled from their home, another thing that would be terrible on top of that trauma is being pulled from your school district. So if we can find more families within different school districts, if a child unfortunately does have to be pulled from their home for safety reasons, they can at least stay in their school district, stay with their teachers, stay with their friends and their community.
One less layer of trauma.
Yeah. So.
Good. So maybe you could start out with how people can contact your organization.
You can reach us at 724-371-0671. Annalise also has some business cards that she will be able to pass out for you all. And then we also handed out a flyer. I believe we sent that to whomever we spoke to.
And our
It's on board
website
docs.
is super easy. It's just adoptionconnectionpa.org.
And we're all on all socials as well.
And so that flyer, as Dr. Walsh was saying, it was posted to board docs, so the entire community has access to the board docs. We keep our content, and there's a flyer on that with your contact information. So.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you for having us tonight and spreading awareness of a really important cause. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, I had a question, but not really for you, for administration. Is that a flyer we could put in the Peach Jar system to all of the different schools? I would endorse that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was just very nervous.
Next item, public comments on agenda items, on any of the items that appear in the agenda. Anybody online?
There are no calls.
Okay, thank you. Let's move into the committee reports then. Again, the focus here in the committee meeting is to identify things that could be moved into the consent agenda or identify them to be held out already. But Mr. Scalzo, can you take the curriculum committee items?
Under Curriculum Committee, we have two items. Number one, professional development. Letter A, Crystal Summers and Megan Enoch to attend the 2022 Association of School Psychologists Fall Conference at the Ramada Hotel and Conference Center in State College, PA, from November 2nd, 2022 to November 3rd, 2022, at the total cost of $1,188.76. Letter B, Joe Villani, Victor D. Prempera, and James Walsh to attend the 2022 National Blue Ribbon ceremony in Washington, D.C. from November 3rd, 2022 to November 4th, 2022 at a total cost of $1,884. Second item, Western Governors University student-teacher contract. So I recommend we move both to the consent agenda.
Ms. Walsh, you had a question, I think, on, did you guys already sort that out?
We did. So Ms. Walsh had identified that that this particular subject, the Western Governors University student-teacher contract, she inquired whether this is a conflict. Western Governors University is her employer. What we spoke about relative to the Ethics Act is that there is no remuneration associated with either this contract or to her employer or to her. So I don't perceive that there are any components of that. I'm happy to provide that in a written legal opinion letter to her in advance of next week, consistent with the Ethics Act. And that should allow her, this to be on the consent agenda and move forward easily.
And you've reviewed the agreement?
I just got an email of it. It's not mine. It's not mine.
Oh.
I
Okay.
have not yet, but I'm happy to.
Okay, if you could, yeah, just to make sure, yeah.
No, it was, actually, we got it, and I moved it forward to the agenda without sending it to Megan, mostly because it was very much like the others that the board has
Okay.
seen and approved, and I didn't
Okay.
think it was anything, worthy of
If it's
that.
standard boilerplate and there's no
Yeah,
risk.
that's a good way to put it, right.
Okay. Okay, everybody's okay with moving these two items to the consent agenda? Ms. McGregor, can you take care of the Personnel Committee items?
Okay, under Personnel, I'd like to move the following 9 items. 1, approval of Extra Duty Responsibility Program. 2, approval of the Train the Trainee Program for the Bethel Park Federation of Paraprofessionals and Aides Educational Support Unit. 3, approval of the special education paraprofessionals to be trained, the trainers. Number 4, MOU with the Bethel Park Transportation Department's Council 84. And 5, change of assignment. 6, appointment of personnel. 7, approval of unpaid leave of absence. 8, acceptance of resignations. And 9, establish a substitute van driver rate with the Bethel Park Transportation Department, District Council 84.
One question on the Train the Trainers. Is that related to this co-curricular bocce program that, is that something related to that? The
No,
coaches
no,
for
this
that,
is a
or
little
it-
different. I see Mr. Mensch online up there. Dr.
Yeah.
Mensch, would you mind responding to that inquiry about Train the
Yes.
Trainer?
Yes, no problem. Dr. Shu and I have been working very closely with Mrs. Alsop and Jen O'Neill, who are the Federation reps for the paraprofessionals. And we've been working hard at trying to find better ways to support our paraprofessionals in doing their job to the best of their ability and developing leadership from within their ranks. So this Train the Trainer is our first step in that venture of trying to improve those processes with those folks that work very hard for us. And they are going to be trained in the CCM model for crisis intervention, prevention, de-escalation strategies. So through the PCCD grant, we allocated this money to this stipend from grant money to train these folks and have them then deliver this training to our large number of paraprofessionals. It's very hard to get that number of paraprofessionals trained, and we think this is going to be a real valuable way to get it done well.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense now, yeah. Okay, that's good.
I also have a point of clarification on one of the personnel items. Number 4, which is the memorandum of understanding, the content is correct. It's actually with the custodial maintenance educational support personnel. The motion is, the actual motion wording says transportation, but the content is corrected. It's custodial maintenance.
Okay.
We'll correct the motion itself on the agenda next week.
Maybe somebody from the administration could address number 9 also. I think this is this shows really good problem solving to fix some of the challenges that we have with the transportation.
Yeah, we basically came up with a van driver rate because we're having such trouble getting bus drivers for the large buses. There are several smaller runs with private parochial type schools where we can use a non-CDL driver to drive a van where they can't drive a bus. So we're hoping to attract more individuals that might be interested in helping us out driving vehicles and not have to go through the CDL training to do that. Even though we do pay for it, if you're out there and you're interested, we pay for that training. This is a way to hopefully alleviate some of the pressure that we're seeing on our buses.
Good. Would anybody like to see any of these held out, or can they all go on the consent agenda? Okay. And Mr. Grisbeck, can you handle the finance items?
Sure thing. We have 6 items tonight under finance. Number 1, October 2022 salaries and bills. Number 2, September 2022 financial report. Number 3, fund balance commitment of $5,000 for student number 1001346. Number 4, Thomas A. Knight Memorial Scholarship Fund. Number 5, purchase of a van for $70,923. And number 6, budgetary transfers. Does anyone have any questions about any of those 6 items?
How much money are we transferring from the one scholarship to the other?
$24.
Oh.
But it requires your motion because it's from one fund to another. So, sorry.
And is there, do we know who the person is who is represented in the second scholarship fund? Ulrich?
That was a donation from Will, and it's a continuous thing.
That scholarship we
Dr.
award based on the
Jansani
interest that's earned every year.
Yeah.
So it sustains itself.
He's well aware of it, but it's a former alum that the husband left the scholarship.
Yeah, 1940 graduate, married a doctor from Arizona. Eventually she passed away, left amount of about $360,000 for Bethel Park High School to be allocated by the said high school principal for students in need of scholarship money. Some of that money was used for other purposes, but the remaining balance is used towards scholarship money for high school graduates. So Mr. Villani will chair how that money is divided, and it's perpetual at this point in time.
Does anyone else have any other questions on any of those 6 items?
So number 5, is this related to then number 9 up above? So this is purchasing the
Yes, we're
vans?
probably going to add some additional vans in the next couple months too, because we've got like a 6 to 9 month run out getting vans even. So we're probably going to make some more purchases in the next couple months just so we have them for next school year.
next
But
year, yeah.
we wanted to get this one on because the supplier has a van that we can get. So
Okay.
Let's go back to item number 4, please. Just because, I was looking at his Dr. Knight's picture on the wall and that. I can't. What was the fund, the mechanism to raise funds for the fund? Was it golf outing?
that I can't tell you. That was before my
Yeah, it was primarily a golf outing, annual golf outing.
There's no interest to maintain. That's just the hard thing. I know the ones for petrol, the money's already there. It's just I hate to see. I know again, like I said, his picture's up there. The room's named after him. you know, but again, I know it's hard because we just can't continue to raise funds for it and have progress, especially when we have other groups in the community, AKA Bethel Educational Fund and so forth. I don't know. I feel bad that we have to see this close out because he did mean a lot to this district during his time here with us, but it is what it is then.
Perhaps as a recommendation, we could approach the foundation because they award 4 or 6 different scholarships to seniors at graduation without anybody's name to it, so.
And
one
we
of them
draft
could-
one of his names?
One of them could become.
That'd be nice. Good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Everyone okay with moving all 6 items to consent agenda? Okay, good. And then under policy, looks like we have a couple that will be approved. We'll be voting on next meeting.
Yeah, revision 127, which is the assessment policy, which the board, after some concerns, went back and rewrote part of that situation to allow for several different options for students in middle school who are not proficient in math and/or reading. Will be scheduled for intervention programs in lieu of foreign language exploratory and/or STEAM enrichment classes. Proficiency is determined by the school administrator's analysis of students' performance on the PSSAs, MAP testing, and report card grades. Placement can also come from a teacher's recommendation in consultation with the parent or guardian, or by parent or guardian request. Special education students' placement is intervested in the IEP team decision. That had come from a lot of feedback, Mr. Christensen, and parents having just not one test determining the curricular outcome. So working together with administration, I think Dr. Walsh came up with a better solution of inclusion. And then the second one, Dr. Walsh, were we able to fix?
Yeah, it looks like that was updated, yeah.
Okay. The Student Activities Fund, it's taking me to board docs. So it reads now, monetary is left in the student activities account for 1 year or more after graduation of a class or club members, or 2 years or more of inactivity shall be transferred to the student government council activities account to be used for any proper school-related purpose. So the school
So the
funds.
change from that was that there's no option for it to be transferred into the general fund of.
Right, it stays
cover
with the
school
students.
operating, right.
Students will benefit from students' fundraising.
Right, yeah, okay.
And then we have the first of 3 readings on threat assessment, emergency preparedness and response, and school security personnel.
So all 3 of these are recommended changes based on Pennsylvania code that changed just a few months ago when the budget was passed. Legislature passed a school code bill with a number of changes. And so these policies, which we already have in place, would be updated to reflect the expectations that the legislature had when they updated the school code related to threat assessment teams and trauma-informed training requirements and so forth.
Yeah, the first one in 236.1 is the district shall annually provide mandatory training for school staff on identifying or recognition of a student's behavior that may indicate a threat to the safety of the students, other students, school employees, other individuals, school facilities, or the community in accordance with the law, board policy, and standards specified by the state school code and security committees.
And so is this updated or is this new?
These are updated policies.
They're updated, they're in
Updated,
red.
okay.
There's only
Yeah,
like
okay.
one paragraph for each, so I'm trying to get to
Yeah,
them, but
okay. Yeah, okay, I see that.
they're not, this one has a little bit more in the education and training, and this is 805. The district shall provide mandatory training for school staff on school safety and security in accordance with the laws and standards specified by the state school code and state security committees. And then it says, the 2 hours of required training address any combination of one or more of the following shall be completed each year. Those 5 subject areas did not change. And then 1 or more training hours of the following areas shall be completed each year. Emergency training drills, including fire drills, natural disasters, active shooter, hostage situation, and bomb threats. The training must be conducted in person. That's the change on that one. An identification or recognition of students' behavior that may indicate a threat to the safety of the student, other students, school employees, other individuals, school facilities, or the community, and training must be conducted in person or virtually. And the required school safety and security training shall be credited towards the professional education requirements in accordance with the laws and district professional education plan. I think there's one more, and that's the personnel. And this had several red lines, so I'm just going to highlight the ones. Delegation of responsibilities and school safety and security within 1 year of the appointment. And I believe that's it.
Yeah, training.
Okay, good. So for these items, then, we can move
1 and 2
to the consent agenda? Okay.
I think we did a good job of collaborating with some parents that had some concerns.
Yeah, definitely on the first 2 items, those first 2 policies, so. That's the end of the committee reports. Any other public comments on school issues? There's only one person here. Mr. Archer? Okay, nobody online?
No calls.
Okay, any board comments?
I have a few.
Yes.
I'm jumping in. First is an update on Steele Center. The school year's off to, fairly good start. We have 98 Bethel Park students enrolled at Steele Center. Renovation plans are coming along. The funding has been moved forward through the JOC. All 11 partnering districts have approved all of the necessary things that need to happen to keep moving forward, so that's really exciting. And I just want to recognize a few of our students who are now officers of the Skills USA chapter at Steele Center, which is exciting. So Katie Clausen, she's in the medical professions program, and she is the chapter president for Skills USA. Promotional chair is Cami Santoriello, and she's in advertising and design. The afternoon vice president is Kiernan Banks in the veterinary assistant program. And the afternoon secretary is Kylie Lewis in the collision repair and refinishing program. So we're excited that we're well represented on the, in the officer category there, which is fun. So wanted to give a shout out also. Last Wednesday night, I attended the LEAD Family Night. That was put on by Judge Ron Arnone and his, I can't remember his name at the moment, Brad Kilmeyer, thank you. They did a fantastic job of just bringing to light some of the issues that our families are dealing with as far as students with drugs, alcohol, misusing social media, but it was really all about leadership and being a leader and not a follower. The program was great. It was well attended, and just was glad to be there to support and to learn some of those things that they presented. Just kind of eye-opening. You get a kind of a shock sometimes when you sit in those programs. And the last thing is on Sunday, November 6th, there is a day of healing for the community in Bethel Park. It is from 1 to 4:30 p.m. at the community center, and it's just a day to reflect and heal and celebrate life. I'm taking it straight from the flyer, actually. I'll be speaking briefly, as well as some other people in the community, and it's just, I feel strongly that it's going to be a really good event for the community to come together and just be together. So
Sharon knows somebody who's been
Yeah.
pretty involved organizing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe says thank you for sharing.
Yes. That's all.
Okay. Any other comments? I had one just from the Park and Rec meeting. They had brought up the Bethel Park Park and Rec group brought up an interesting concept. They're looking at investing in coaching classes for all of the youth sports, so like soccer and everything. But it has nothing to do with the actual sport. It's how to deal with other things, parents, motivation, things like that. And what they were wondering is, would the district be interested in partnering with that also for our coaches? And I thought it'd be a great idea because, you know, when things bubble up to us, it's never about, you know, can kids dribble? Can they catch the ball? Are they good at batting? It's about those interactions with parents, with other teams, you know, all that stuff. So I thought it would be a good thing for us to partner on with them. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell them next month in our next meeting that we're interested if everybody else thinks it's, I think sometime next year, I think they would be.
I just have a shout out, if everyone has time. I was at work, and I work over Mount Lebanon High School, and I was asking one of our coworkers, how did the program last Tuesday night go down at the high school? I think Dr. Walsh made reference in his notes in regards to the college fair. And boy, they said our staff did a fabulous job. It was a great venue. It was a good turnout, and they were really complimentary of Mike Bruce, Kristen Michaels, Lori Smith, and John Lorenzi and their secretaries and administration on a fabulous job they did down there representing our community in this public forum at the college fair. So I'd give a shout out to those guys and thank them for their great job.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Yes?
On that note, Mr. Mesereau, I did want to say that I think we may have trouble maybe not locating, but maybe getting trade unions, people who are representing organizations that are about employment out of high school, the going to work and career part, interested in coming. I guess there weren't really that many, like the Carpenters Union or what, you know, that sort of thing. And perhaps maybe the technical schools for those 2-year or 1-year programs. A couple people reached out that there weren't maybe as much there, which is often they don't feel that that's worth it. But maybe we can try to, I don't know, double some efforts to get them interested, or hold a separate night. Would they be more interested if it was a separate night? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's keeping them from signing up. But I'll think about that problem, and maybe you would have some sources on that too.
For more information, Steel Center offers a career fair where they invite in all of the industry leaders in the area, and kids have an opportunity to speak to those employers, you know, or even some of the other post high school technical schools will be there as well. I don't have a date for that, but they do it annually.
Do they invite the students in Bethel who aren't also students at Steel Center?
A great question, and I'll find out. But thank you.
I'm just trying to make sure we don't miss providing the resources to those kids.
Absolutely. That's a great point.
Thank you. And I heard it was excellent, and there were so many people there, and they really, really enjoyed that fair. Thank you very much.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?